Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, TV shows, and movies, and any other interesting topics. So before we get into this, you guys could tweet us at Echo U Podcast. Some suggestions, some comments. Share our videos. Well, share our podcast episodes. So to get the word out. And you can probably find us on any other social media site as Echo Underground Podcast. So, this episode is going to be about the latest album by the, I guess, R&B singer Miguel called War and Leisure. So, I gave this album an A minus. I thought he had very good vocals. It was well produced. It's very easy to listen to. I like that each song sounded different. And I liked all the features except for one. And it was a variety of topics. And overall, I thought it was a good, well-rounded album. What do you think of this album, Michael?
I think this is also worth an A minus. Um, the sound is like very just chill through the whole thing. Like the pace is pretty consistent without being boring. Cause like everything does sound different, but it's like he definitely know the kind of sound he's going for the album, and I feel like he kind of nailed it right there. I have a hard time describing the sound because it's not something. I'm not like an audiophile. I don't really know how to get into the details here. But I'm like, he did a pretty good job all around, and I didn't really have a problem with much. I guess like one song I had a problem with, but like it didn't really. It wasn't like a deal breaker that was like so bad I couldn't listen to the rest of the album because it was 12 songs. 11 of them definitely get passes from me. So yeah, A minus.
All right, I think we're gonna have the same song that we both was like, nah, bruh. Um, so I guess let's get into our top three. So my number three is Carmelo Duro featuring
Hey,
Kylie Uchin. Uchillis. I don't know how to say that person's last name. But whoever you are, Callie, you did really good. So here's why I like it. One, the beat is probably, if not the best beat on the album, pretty close to it. I love the Spanish. He got his Spanish heritage in there as well because I think he's half black and half Hispanic. Um, it was like I don't know, Spanish R&B. That's what basically describes this song.
sounds about right. Yeah, that's the great area.
Yeah. So um, also, even though I didn't know what they were saying, and I looked up the title, and according to Google, it means hard candy.
Ah, okay.
But even though I didn't know what they're saying, I really enjoyed the album. It's like when you listen to Despacito. Unless you speak Spanish, you probably don't even know what the hell he's really talking about. Especially if you never saw the video or heard the remix. So, but I really fell in love with the song. So that's definitely my number three. What do you think of it, Michael? Unless it's in your top three, then we can wait.
Nope, it's not my top three, but it's also definitely a very good song. The one that caught me off guard, like it's probably the most unique because of the whole Spanish thing it had going on, and because it was like so surprising to me. I actually ended up liking that part a lot, just to, like hear it, because I think maybe halfway through 2017, maybe early 2017, I feel like people are starting to like open their eyes a lot more to like the Hispanic music that they can listen to even though they don't know what they're saying. And I'm like, okay, I kind of got a similar vibe from this one, and I was like, all right, that's pretty unique, and I'm glad he introduced it to this album, because granted the album isn't like monotone or nothing like that, but this is definitely one of them things that like just gives it a little extra push to be a pretty good album.
Okay. So what's your number three?
My number three is actually the one that I'm pretty sure everyone's heard by now. It's actually Skywalker. Um, I was okay with the song. I mean, this is one of the songs that if I do hear it on the radio in my car, I do bump my head to. And I didn't realize, you know, at least for the album anyway, how much I loved it among everything else because it fits so well. By itself, when I was listening to the song, I'm like, okay, it's a good song, but it's like on the album, it's like for some reason a different perspective. Like, oh, okay, it's not only a good song, but like good among all the things that it was beside. Like nothing at least for me on this album, super outshine the other. Even though everyone probably knows this song right now. But yeah, this is definitely my number three. One of the catchier ones for me.
You know, it's funny that you're like, I don't like this song. And when we got to like our worst song of the album, I was gonna say Skywalker. I think Skywalker is garbage. I wouldn't say
Interesting.
garbage. Not as good as the other ones. That's what I would say. But it's definitely a radio song. Like, this is probably why it's probably the only single from the album, at least that I know of. And it's a little corny with the Luke Skywalker reference, but. And the only other issue I had, I couldn't tell what parts were Miguel and what part was Travis. So I was just like, I don't know who's doing what. And I don't like how the song ended either, as well. So there's a lot of things I didn't like about the song, but it's not enough to like make me hate the album. And I could still listen to it, but it's not my first choice. Like if I had to be like, oh, what song would you recommend? I would not recommend this song. But this happened before. I've hated a song in your top three before.
Mm,
So my number two is "Told You So."
okay.
Now, for me, while I said my first song, my number three had the best beat, this had the most creative because it used a video game sound in the background as part of the beat. And I thought that was actually really cool. I loved his voice. I loved how upbeat it was. This is basically a song saying, "Yo, I told you so." I'm not gonna tell you, but yeah, I told you so. And it's like rubbing salt in the wounds. Sometimes I do that with Michael
Hmm.
when we
Haven't
play,
noticed.
NBA Live, not his thing. But it's
Not,
danceable.
not gonna fall for this.
Maybe it's a trap. Maybe it's a trap. But it's very danceable. And the chorus is really good. So I love "Told You So." What do you think about it?
I didn't mind this one either as well because one the first thing that caught me was the beat. Cause at first I thought like okay that's weird like electro kind of beat going on. Then Shane kind of made a good comparison. Like it's kind of a video gamey kind of sound, and it sounds good. And the lyrics in there was also pretty good too. There's also a little bit of story going on. I hope you guys pay attention to this one when you go through it. But that also drew me in for a little bit as well. And I thought this was what toward the latter half of the album or something like that. I was plenty
Yeah,
okay with this.
it's like number 7.
Oh, okay, that's right. I couldn't forget the album that short. Okay, so it's not that too far close to the end, more so to the middle. But it was a pretty good one. I did end up liking this, and I think this is the ones I was actually battling out for one of my spots before I finished out the album. So yeah, Felicia was a pretty dope one.
Okay, what's your number 2?
My number two will actually go to "Come Through and Chill."
It's funny. I thought that was your number 1.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now I gotta pick a different one.
"Come Through and Chill" was a pretty good song. It had J. Cole in it, Salam Remy. Not sure who that person is, but and I honestly I did have a hard time picking them out of the song, but that didn't really matter because the entire thing when I'm listening to it went through just fine. J. Cole, obviously, you're not gonna go wrong putting J. Cole on any of your tracks, and I think he introduced he was the first one on the track actually, which is pretty his part ended up liking that a whole lot. Um, and Miguel and Salam they did their part too, and I'm like, you know what, this right here pretty much solidified the sound that it was trying to go to for this album as well. 'Cause, like this entire album, for the Dom described, it was definitely chill. I don't really know what else to say about it. Like how we said Kelly Clarkson, her album was all about her having fun. This one just seems like the most chillest kind of R&B. Not the sexiest kind, not the most over the top. Like it's just like a really good middle ground type R&B. I feel like this one I kind of nailed it on the head, especially with a little touch of hip hop that got thrown into there too. So yeah, definitely come through and chill on my number two.
It's funny about "Come Through and Chill." I think what really made me like the song was J. Cole's verses. Like,
Hmm.
it's probably one of the best verses he spit in a while because I was not a fan of his last album. He took some shots at Trump. He said that Trump's manipulating poor white folks because they're ignorant. I'm like, that's a very strong statement.
Yeah.
I'm not going to respond whether it's true or not, but it was
Not
really
that kind of
strong.
podcast, guys.
Yeah, we're not getting political here. We're trying to have fun. This is just a fun podcast. The only thing is, I couldn't recognize the other feature. So I can't even say if he did a bad or a good job because he blended so well.
Yeah.
I didn't know when it was Miguel versus the other guy. So I was just like, this is another feature that like kind of blended in to the point I couldn't tell what they were contributing. But I like the song, so I'm not gonna hate on it.
Right.
And it was a weird, like, trying to be like, it was talking about sex in the song. But then he's talking about politics in the middle of the sex. It was like a weird combo, but it worked for the song. So I did like it. Good choice, good choice. Now guess my number one.
Your number one. I'm gonna just go out there and say something weird. Is it Pineapple Skies?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very good one too.
Okay, so I chose Pineapple Sky because for me, this is probably his best vocals. Besides maybe like one other song. It had a very strong start. I love the beat. It was catchy, it was fun, it was a little funky, it was smooth at the same time. I'm like, how can you be funky, upbeat, and smooth in one record? Miguel did it with Pineapple Skies.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a weird like metaphor type song, but I just had fun with it the whole entire way, and yeah, it was my number one from the moment I heard it. Nothing was better in it. Some were pretty close, but nothing beat it in my opinion. What do you think of Pineapple Skies?
I thought that this is one of the songs like the name of the song like drew me in, and I was like, what the hell is a pineapple sky? Please define, because I cannot Google this shit. But after the song, I was like, I'm thinking about the wrong thing here. Let me actually find out how the song sounds, instead of trying to interpret things and come up with my own little lore behind this album. But yeah, the song was pretty good. I'd say it's definitely some of his best vocals on the album as well. And I think Shanique pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one, as far as my opinion goes. Smooth, funky, and upbeat. And I was like, that's an interesting three things to meld together. But when done right, can definitely work, according to Miguel, apparently. So, I mean, this is, I don't know. I feel like for certain people who are on the outside of R&B looking in, this is kind of a good way to say, hey, this is the kind of stuff you might that might end up making you want to check out some more R&B, or at least R&B of this kind of flavor, because I feel like this one's a good introductory kind of thing for someone who doesn't really know this kind of music yet. It's not too on the nose with all the romance or whatnot, and it's not too over the top with anything. But yeah, this right here is like not only the album but the song itself, perfect gray area for all the things in R&B that I like and would introduce to somebody.
All right. So now I gotta guess your number one. This is kind of hard.
It's only 12 songs, so your odds are good.
Yeah, but you be picking some off the wall shit sometimes, and I'm like, bruh, what are you talking about? So I don't know. I have to see. All right, I'm gonna guess "Criminal" featuring Rick Ross.
It is "Criminal" featuring Rick Ross.
Hey, I only went with that because that's the first song. That's my only thought process.
Yep, I was like, yeah, the song right here was also a very, very good introduction. Not the one I'd say about the last one where I'd introduce it because it had Rick Ross in it. I don't know how people feel about hip hop and R&B if you already don't like one or the other. So it's like, but for me personally, I really like the sound of the song. And one thing I definitely have to give a nod to was Rick Ross's part, because it was bigger than I pause. He had a bigger part than I thought. Whatever. Anyways, he had a bigger part in the song than I thought he would have had, and I liked it a lot. Like, it brought me back. Like, it definitely didn't sound like his album last year, but it brought me back to a lot of times when he gets featured in people's songs. Like, I know when he got featured in the name of the song is skipping me here, but he did it with Kanye, and it sounded so good. Like, I don't know, for some reason, Rick Ross, knows how to rap on a slow, smooth, slower. It's not just a slow beat, but like a slower, smooth type of beat. And I'm like, all right, oddly enough, this guy's voice melds with it very well. It's not registering in my head how, especially when I look at him and I'm like, this isn't really your kind of venue here, sir. But I was perfectly fine with it though. And Miguel, he handled the first half of the song. Wait, was it? Yeah, he handled the first half of the song, and he did pretty well. He did pretty well on the choruses and on his verses as well. And they chose a very good, like, I've been repeating this a lot, but this album's really good at doing it. They found like a very good gray area for the both of them to like meld hip hop and R&B into this one, which worked very well, especially for the kind of pace it was going for.
Okay. Criminal, I thought it was one. I love the chorus of Criminal. I thought the beat was good. It was unexpected because of how they did it. Because I'm not used to Miguel sounding the way he did on Criminal, so I was like, okay. Rick Ross' flow was good. I thought his verses were decent, like not the best, but not like mind-blowingly good. I thought J. Cole definitely did better, but for this song, he had a very good verse. Actually, he had a lot of the song. This is basically a Rick Ross and Miguel collaboration. Like no feature. This is both their songs.
Right, I agree. They had an equal part.
Yeah, and like the chorus is kind of a little bit pop influence, a little bit in there. So it was a lot of things going on, and it actually worked. So I already told you what my worst song would pick. Well, I shouldn't say worst, but least liked song was Skywalker. What is the song that you liked the least on this album?
I'm weird about this one, and I hope I'm picking the right one here. But I'm a little weird about this one. It's really only because there's this part of the song that there was like just a beat going on. But I feel like I don't know, it just registered to me as overkill. But it's actually Harem, and my complaint is pretty much summed up to just that. There's just like a part of the song where it's like it just ran for no reason. I'm like, I know I get it, like it's a potential outro, but like they stretched it, and I was a little confused about that. But you know what? I'm not a music maker, so I can't really complain about it because like Miguel actually sounded good on it. He kept to the pattern of the actual album, which is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at this point, it's just the music behind his singing that was the problem for me.
Okay. A little bit about Harem. I actually like the high notes he hit in the song. I love the use of the drums on the beat. Like the drums were very strong on this song, so I definitely heard it. Good vocals. I like the build up and like I guess the hook. I don't think it was a chorus. It's a little bit slow, and I agree it was a little bit long, but I actually enjoyed Harem a little bit more. It grew on me as I was listening to it. All right, so I think we covered the first three. Number 4, Banana Clip. Funky as hell. I love the beat. I don't get the song like meaning though. Like, what does it mean when he says banana clip on My Love for You? What does that mean?
I'm not walking around with the Miguel dictionary because like, there's certain artists that we've covered before where we just can't like have any kind of interpretation for them. Like I don't know, you're being creative. I'm gonna let you be creative, and maybe you being creative means I don't get to understand what the hell you're talking about. So long as you sound good, sure, I'll give you kudos brownie points for that. But I can't go digging into your definitions now without actually asking you myself because I'm gonna drive myself nuts.
Okay, I was just like, what the hell does that mean? If a guy told me, oh, I got a banana clip on My Love for You, I'm gonna be like, bro, you gonna have to explain what that means because I don't know what that means. I guess it's sweet.
Right.
But yeah, I did love the beat. I loved it was low key catchy, and it would probably be my honorable mention for the album. What do you think of Banana Clip?
I don't know what's the sound here, but like funky, like electro with R&B. And it's kind of cool because I don't know what the instrument is. I can't even know if electro is the right word for it. But it sounded good for what he was singing on. And like I said, that's a pattern for the entire album here. But he did good with it. So long as you're not like digging around for the definition of what he's talking about, you'll be fine. Or maybe you do know what he's talking about. You'll still find it fine. But yeah, if that's the case, and definitely tweet me at Echo E Podcast and let me know. Educate your brother because I don't know what's happening here.
I don't know either. Next one, Wolf featuring Quinn. Now, this is another song where I didn't know what Quinn did. But, and I don't even know if it's a boy or girl, whoever that is. You sounded good, I guess. if you did sing or maybe produce it. I don't know what's happening here. Um, the wolf metaphor was very strong in this, like low key. Like if you think about it, if someone was like, "I'm hungry and I'm gonna attack," and all these like wolf things toward you, I don't think you'll find that sweet, sexy, or anything. I think you'd be kind of freaked out, like, what's happening here? But it made the song catch my attention even more because of that. Um, they used kind of like a rock beat, but the way he sang it was kind of bluesy, so I really did like that.
Yep, yep. That's literally what I was gonna say too.
Chorus was really good, and it's a low key type of sexy song, except if I actually think about the words, it would freak me out if someone said that to me. So, other than that, I thought this was a really, really good song. What do you think of Wolf? Even though I stole
Wolf,
some of your thoughts.
no, it's all right because that's pretty much one of the main things with the song for me. And to be honest, it actually was a very close contender for my number 3 spot. So I guess I'll call it my honorable mention here. But this was a pretty good song because of how like bluesy it was to me for some reason. Like you know how like who is he? Like BB King, whatever guitar that he's using, I think it's like the bass guitar or whatever. Like when you sing on top of that for some reason, like you have the right voice for it, it works. But this is like a weirdest like combination of R&B for that kind of like Louisiana down south like bluesy type sound, and I'm like, it worked. I'm not calling this the beat down south Louisiana type, but like just an example here because I brought up BB King, but it was pretty damn good. Um, See, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, dang, I should have probably put it higher than the honorable mention because I really like this song.
Yeah.
Cause I remember it stood out to me a lot because the sound was like probably the most unique next to "Told You So," in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stop rambling about Wolf. It was a pretty good one. I, for one, did like the metaphors going on here. They were a little sus on some ends if you try to like dig around for those definitions because they're a little more on the nose. They're not that easy to miss. Sorry, not that hard to miss. But yeah, keep an eye out for Wolf when you listen to this album, guys.
All right, next song is City of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
The beat was, I thought at some points of the song the beat overpowered his voice a little bit, only a little bit, but it was creative. Like it is probably one of the most creative beats, and that's saying something only because this album has a lot of creative beats. Like it kind of reminded me of SZA and her Control, which she didn't win the New Artist Grammy, but it's alright. She'll get him next year. It was even though the song is basically, I'm a little unsure what he's like, cause City of Angels is L.A., but the song is about him not treating his woman right, with a weird metaphor about a city, and I was like, okay, you weren't doing something right. But it's very catchy. The beat to me is probably one of the better parts of the song. But I really enjoyed it. What do you think of City of Angels?
I'm gonna rewind it back real quick to what you said earlier about the beat overpowering the singing. I do see where you're coming from with that because I do have in my notes here that the drums in this one were the one that were like beating above his voice, and it's weird because it did that on the parts where his voice went lower. But like when he hit the chorus, for some reason, like he had spots in there where like he was really strong, and that's like where I liked his voice the most. But that's probably my only gripe with the song. Everything else pretty much was like a good to go for me. Like I had zero problem with the fact that you know everything else sounded just fine. Like I listen to it like yeah, it's sticking to the pattern. It's Miguel's voice on it, so he's doing a good job. Like it's weird. Would you consider this song like an R&B song though? Like I guess it's kind of poppy in the middle,
I think it would be under contemporary R&B,
Okay.
R&B with pop influence. So
Got you.
It is R&B, but it has a lot of pop in there.
Yeah, that's probably where I throw this as well. I'm like, it sounds unique, but and it's like not in the album unique way, but like a unique among the unique. Like it had influence from the rest of the album as well as like how can I make 12 songs sound really good individually? I feel like he picked out a very interesting one for this one.
Okay. Second to last song, Anointed. Now, this is a dirty song, but he sounds so sweet when he sings the song. Apparently, she makes him feel like he's been anointed. She makes him feel like a god. Whatever. And you know what caught me off guard? Where he kept saying, "Oh, nice erection" throughout the entire song.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice for like.
I was honestly thinking I was hearing something else. I'm like, clearly I didn't just hear the word erection a dozen times in my ears. And then I realized, now that you say, especially, I'm confirming it with myself, like, yeah, Michael, that was erection.
Yeah, it was. Because the whole song is based about this woman putting it down so good that he feels amazing in every possible way. And hey, or man, I don't know what he's into. I ain't gonna just discriminate because he didn't use pronouns. But it's low-key catchy and it grew on me. But it's probably the most innocent sounding dirty song. If you're just listening to it, you wouldn't even realize what he's really talking about. Unless you pay attention to the words. Like we do here on this podcast.
Even though we're mostly wrong sometimes, but it's fine.
That's not always true.
It's part of the artist's job to give us perspective to see how we feel about their songs, so that's fine. Excuse me for making up my own stories about your songs, Miguel.
I don't know. How can you misinterpret nice erection?
Maybe he was saying resurrection, which technically would make sense if you're saying anointed,
No, that does not make sense. He said she makes him feel like a god.
Resurrection.
So, and then she makes him feel anointed. But yet, oh, nice resurrection? Like, that makes no sense.
Yep.
Yo, you in denial. Anyway, just tell what you think about the song.
The song is cool. This is one of the songs like the notes are a little bit more stretched out. Like he's not like belting out anything, but like a lot of the notes in the song are definitely more stretched out. Shanique found a very interesting definition for the song here, which I'm kind of inclined to believe, even though my body's telling me like, nah, Mike, we don't want to do that. Cause it kind of does, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of does like put itself out there for what it's talking about. Which I guess if you have an R&B album, you gotta have at least a couple songs like that, especially nowadays. It'll be a fair argument if you say that, it was worse back in the day. Like, I mean, don't get me, it's maybe, but it's not. This song is outside of that border right there. Cause I feel like it's just more along the weird lines than it is along the sexy lines. So, take it how you want. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, and like, technically, I think you're right. Because I looked up the lyrics, right? And so it says, because your body's... It's still like... He's still talking about how this woman makes him feel. But he's like, because your body's ready for war, and my body's built to endure, you make me feel like a god. Make me feel like I've been anointed. Come to me, I'm your rock. Death and resurrection. So he's saying death, but it doesn't sound like death when you hear it.
Ah, okay.
Make me feel like a god. Make me proud I've been anointed. So, you know what? This is just as long as we speak in tongues. Whoever this woman is, she's doing what she's supposed to do. That's all I got to say.
On this podcast, we talk about women saying that about guys. Saying like the guy was doing what he's supposed to do. It's one of the rare occasions where it's like the guy is saying the woman put it down. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, brush your shoulders off when you get a chance, yo.
I know, right? But yeah, technically you're right about the resurrection, but it's because we didn't hear the death part. If I heard the death part, I would have known instantly what he was saying. It doesn't sound like death when you hear it.
It's weird. I only pulled resurrection out. I actually did not hear death at all.
I mean, it's one syllable, so it's the way he was singing it in the beat. Sometimes you don't really hear it. But when I read the lyrics, I'm like, damn, what's happening at your house?
Good things according to him.
Apparently. All right, getting into the last song of the album, it's called Now. And basically, this is probably the most, I guess, inspirational song of the album. It's very smooth. But he's basically saying we as people need to do better. he's talking about a message. He's trying to determine what actual freedom is. It's very uplifting. And it's basically saying you gotta do this. You gotta do something to make the world better. And I like the message and I like the closing of this album with that song. So I like Now. I thought Now was a really good song to close the album with. What about you?
Now was pretty cool. Definitely one of the slower paced ones, and I do agree that it used like another one of those. I don't know. I guess contemporary would be the wrong one for this one, but I feel like the beat that he used for this one wasn't like full on R&B, but it was still pretty good to listen to. He sounded smooth the entire way out. I feel like he saved like the smoothest notes for this one right here, which is pretty good. On the way out of this album, you're gonna feel good about listening to Now. And what like what Shanique said too, the actual like message here was pretty dope too. Like if I wanted to sum it up, do it now, not tomorrow, not the day after. Just stop procrastinating, do something now, cause now the moment that matters. But I don't gotta spell those messages out for you. Listen to the song itself and let us know how you feel.
All right. Well, to close it off, I say check it out. I think Miguel did really good. I wish this album had more, radio play and more. I'm about to say screen time. Screen time, not it. Attention, because this is a really good album, and I think was slept on. It came out like beginning of December, but no one really talked about it, except maybe that one song with Travis Scott. And that was it. Like no one really talked about this album, and I think people missed out on a really good album. What about you, Michael?
Yeah, I definitely do feel bad that this kind of flew under the radar because it definitely doesn't deserve to be. For 12 songs, you're getting definite quality over quantity here, and that's a good mix. Unlike well, who was the name of Triple X Tentacion? If you go listen to that podcast, you know what I'm talking about. And heck, even listen to his album. But if you're gonna listen to that one, definitely to this one to compare it to and realize who's putting quality into their songs, because this is pretty much the ideal way you want to pull that off. Because everyone these days kind of wants put all the eggs in the basket, cough cough Chris Brown, and then put it on one album and call it a day. This one is just like you don't need all that, yo. Like this in this case at least, less is more. Because I've seen long albums that work, but we've also seen short albums that work, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and we also seen we kind of seen everything. We even seen short albums that needed to be longer. We even
Oh
seen
yeah,
that.
definitely. Which is a good thing on the artist if they make you want more out of their album, So that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
But anyway, so guys, tweet us at Echo U Podcast. Let us know what you think of this album. Did you like the album? Did you agree with our opinions, or did you think that he could have did better, or it wasn't all that? We just want to know what you guys think. You can follow us on Twitter, comment. We do read them. You can also find us on other sites such as YouTube, iTunes, Facebook, and any other podcasting apps, all under Echo Underground Podcast. And we'll see you guys the next episode. Bye.
See ya.